A warm welcome to a new episode of Melt. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Over the last 2 years, IT services brands from India have outpaced their international competitors in brand value growth. According to the latest Brand Finance's IT Services 2022 report released by brand valuation firm Brand Finance, Tata Consultancy Services or TCS emerged as the second most valuable brand in the IT services sector globally. Infosys was ranked third, and former Indian brands such as Wipro, HCL, Tech Mahindra, and LTI also made it to the list. Accenture retained the title of world's most valuable and strongest IT services brand, boasting a record brand value of $36.2 billion. To understand what this recognition means for TCS and its stakeholders, Anant Rangaswami, editor of Melt, will be in conversation today with Rajashree R, CMO of TCS. Let's get ready to melt with Rajashree R.
Hello.
Hi, Anant. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hello, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I think it's the best rank in South Asia, so that's a lovely thought.
Yes, absolutely. We're really delighted with the results, and this is really an effort of all our team members, the entire company, and of course, all the associates in TCS whose faith in the company and belief in the company really keeps us going. So it's a testimony to our entire organization.
Yeah, okay, so now I've spent about 30 years looking at various rankings in various categories and awards and all kinds of things. And now I'm going to ask you, what does this mean to you? What does this ranking or this recognition mean to TCS in terms of pound, shillings, and pence? You know, it's nice to say we're number 2, number 1, number 5, number 82, whatever it may be. What does it mean to you, the company, to your stakeholders?
Primarily, I think this is really a testimony, a validation of what I would call our relevance in the market. Relevance in terms of what we do for our clients, their customers, and the communities that we serve, right? It essentially validates that the work that we do, what we bring to the table really makes a difference to the society, to our customers, and the larger stakeholders. I think primarily it is about that, right? And when we see our ranking going up, when we see certain milestones being reached, it makes this all worth it, right? It makes us believe that what we are doing is making a meaningful difference to the community that we serve. So I think that is what it primarily means to us.
Okay, now, while I've had the time to read, my viewers will not have the time. So if you can tell us, how is this measured? How is this rank achieved?
Sure. So Anand, this is a fairly complicated process, and they have, I think, 7 or 8 major criteria based on which they measure the ranking. Of course, the financials are a very important part of the measure. I mean, the rank is called Brand Finance, so the financials are a very important part of the measure. But they do measure things like brand salience, share of voice, all the softer aspects of what it means to build the brand among the community. I think those are all the softer aspects of things that we measure. There is no application process, right? So this is purely done based on what they see and hear about the brand in the market, which is good, because when you do an application, you also tend to play up certain things. This is purely done based on their observation about the company, their observation about what we do in the market. And of course, the financials and other published matrices which are available, which are available in public forum. So I think that is very heartening that this is actually done based on a very structured process and based on what they observe and see in the market. So that's what makes it even more special.
Now, you used 2 words in the middle of that, which is brand salience.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot in brand salience last year.
Yes.
And a lot in the continuing pipeline. So share with us, why is it important for somebody like you, which is essentially a B2B company? Why is it important to spend so much on brand salience?
Anand, it's a very interesting perspective. I'll give you a slightly longer answer to this one, right? If you look at our company, you will say it's a B2B company. We sell technology services to businesses across the world, right? But if you look at the role of technology in our lives, and I think the pandemic has further enhanced that role, right? The technology that we build along with our clients is relevant for every consumer in every country, right? So I mean, the most spoken about example, the passport, Anant, right? If you have a passport, which I'm sure you do, uh, TCS has played a role in your life, right? I can give you millions such examples of not just consumers in India, citizens in India, but citizens across the world whose life we have changed, right? That's the power of technology, and it's the power of what we do. And therefore it's important for us that while the brand is being built for us to sell better, to increase and grow our business among the people who buy services from us, but it's very important for us to also tell the story of what we do, how we do, and why is it we are making such an importance, such a difference to people across the world. And therefore, we like to say B2B2C in some way, but we think of ourselves as consumer companies, and we don't think of us just as a B2B company. And therefore, all these activations that we've done in terms of marathons, in terms of Formula E that we've entered this year, are all very, very important part of building our brand across the world. And Anand, being from India, when you travel across the world, I'm sure you would love to see Indian brands, right? And we do hope and we do aspire that TCS is one of those brands that you will see when you travel abroad, right? So, for example, last year we opened a new office in Paris, which has a beautiful facade of TCS and Tata, which you can see from very, very, very far away, right? So we do wish and we do want that when people from India travel as well, they get to see TCS as a brand in all of those markets. So that is very, very important for us. And all the activations that we've been doing, we continue to do, are all in line and with that aspiration.
Right. What you're describing is a kind of Intel inside, where you do a lot, but you're invisible.
Yes.
It's like the battery inside a car also. You don't see the battery.
Yeah.
But tell me, why don't Indian consumers know more about how you're touching their lives? For example, I'm certainly aware that TCS enables the passport, but why don't we have a kind of, Tata's famous campaign, we also make steel? Why don't we see something like that targeted at Indian consumers?
Anant, I don't want to let too much out, but I want to tell you that this year you will see us do it. You will see us talk more about what difference we are making in India. We've already taken some steps in that direction. Last year we launched a campaign called Part of Your Story, where we talked about all the sectors where we are making a story to making a difference to the Indian consumers. So you will see us talk more and more about it, and you can expect a few things from us this year.
Sure, I won't push you on that. Now, while you say that while primarily it's seemingly a B2B company, you think of yourself as a B2B2C. Now, in India, we don't experience the C except in a kind of very elitist way. Even the marathon, in a way, is an elitist sport. So why don't we see more in the C area, not just in India, but across the world?
Actually, for us, marathon is, I'm not sure it's an elitist sport, Anant, because it's becoming a very mass sport right now. If you look at the world around us, fitness has become very, very important part of our lives. There is a tremendous focus on fitness, and sports in general is about pushing the human potential, right? It's about a person wanting to do his best, having audacious goals, and really striving towards it, right? So for us, marathons in general has been that platform which really introduces TCS and becomes part of that consumer life across the world, right? I'm not sure if you have ever seen a TCS marathon activation, like let's say the New York Marathon or the Amsterdam Marathon. But those 3 days, the entire city is painted in TCS colors and the TCS logo. Everybody who runs that marathon is wearing a TCS badge. It's a very special feeling, Anand. I can tell you that it's a very, very special feeling. Just this year, we have added 2 more properties. We've added the London Marathon and the Toronto Marathon. So having, Mumbai, London, New York, Amsterdam, Toronto, all of these, wonderful cities, really the epicenters of the world, being sponsored by TCS is absolutely amazing. So next year, the London Marathon will be called the TCS London Marathon. So So that's our first step, but of course we want to push this further. We made an entry into Formula E mostly because we wanted to also drive the sustainability agenda and the future of motoring as an important agenda. So we made an entry into Formula E this year. But you will see us do more and more of these activations in the years to come. And as you very rightly said, I think Intel Insight is actually a big inspiration for us. And we do believe that's the direction for our brand to go. So, as I mentioned, look out for more stuff from us in the coming years.
Right. Now, tell me how important is all that you do in the area of recruitment branding? Because the recruiter brand is becoming more and more important in today's, churn is so high and talent is so short, funnily.
Yes.
How important is that?
Anant, we are a very interesting business, and I'll take a minute to explain to you why that is, right? If you look at our business, most of our employees, right, we have about 550,000 employees across the world. More than nearly 4 lakh employees of that are in India. We are a company which is traded in India, so all our shareholders are in India. But more than 95% of our customers are outside of India. So it's a very interesting dynamics that we have when we think about how we want to build our brand, right? You must have heard these stories. You go to a wedding and they'll ask you, where do you work? We say TCS. They'll say, oh, my uncle's son works in TCS. Or you'll immediately, somebody will say, somebody wants to join TCS. Can we send your resume, right? So in India, especially, the way we want to build our brand is to really focus on, how do we build a brand for the employees and also the potential employees who come into the company. So I can give you statistics that this year alone, more than 7.5, 8 lakh youngsters have applied to TCS and look at TCS as a potential, company for them to build their careers in, right? That speaks for the brand, and therefore it's very important for us to build the employee brand in India. We have actually this time advertised. We never used to advertise before, but we actually advertised. We even advertised on OTT channels in India, and talked about our recruitment campaign. And so it is becoming very, very important. Another very important element of our employee brand is actually building the brand with our current employees. So we have launched a program called One TCS, which we launched about 18 months back, to really drive deeper employee engagement and pride among our own employees. I will not hesitate to say that I sometimes spend a lot more time with employee branding and employee engagement than I actually spend on the customer side, because that is very, very important for us. After all, these are the brand ambassadors. These are the ones who take the story of TCS to our clients and stakeholders every day. So it's very critical for us, Anant. And when we think about our brand in India, for us, that group becomes a very, very important audience in terms of how we think about our messaging, what we want to do. This year, we actually did a song, we called it the Belief song. We launched we developed our own song with Siddharth Mahadevan and Jonita Gandhi, and we launched it just when we were coming out of the second wave. And we put it on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple, Ghana, and so on and so forth. So we're trying to do very, very different things to, build our brand with both our current employees as well as our future employees.
Right. If you look at the campaigns visible internationally from Indian sources, one is Incredible India, the other is the TCS campaign. These are the two big ones that I can recall.
Yeah.
Now tell me, from a nation branding point of view, how important is what TCS does to help other brands make breakthroughs in the countries, for example, where you're visible? For example, can I piggyback on the credibility that India gains from the London Marathon and launch coconut oil in London, for example?
I'm not sure how that will work, but if you look at the history of TCS, Anand, we were the first company in many ways to go and sell the proposition of India globally, right? We pioneered the IT industry. Historically, Indians were known as snake charmers, and now we are known as the IT guys or the technology guys, right? And I think we would take full credit for the fact that TCS was the company who started that revolution of actually proving to the world that we had great talent in India and we could actually build technology out of India, right? So that we were pioneering in that sense, and of course on the brand side, we do believe that We are pioneering. We did the New York Marathon almost 8-9 years back, when no brand was making that kind of investment, in building out their presence in North America. So we do believe that the brand journey as well, we have been pioneering, but yes, of course, we can do a lot more, and set an example for a lot of other brands in India to have aspirations to build a global brand. I don't know whether they can sell oil, but definitely, we hope to set an example. We hope to set a pioneering journey, which potentially the other brands can follow.
Fantastic. So, normally it's a bit rare to talk to tech companies, about top of the funnel marketing. Normally everything is bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
Performance and so on and so forth. So it's such a pleasure to talk about brand work with somebody from a tech company. Thank you so much. And I hope our viewers learn a lot from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Thanks a lot for having me, and wish all of you a very happy New Year. Thank you.
Earlier this week, the Ad Club announced a partnership with The One Show, the global advertising award program organized by the One Club for Creativity. This association is intended to enhance judging standards and bring in transparency for the Ad Club's Abby Awards, which after taking a break in 2020 due to the pandemic, will return this year. To know more about this collaboration, I'm now joined by Partha Sinha, President of the Ad Club. Hi Partha, firstly tell us, what does this partnership with The One Show entail?
At a very simple level, we will be adopting the entire judging process of One Show. Of course, it's not lock, stock and barrel. They're working with us to create a very international standard of process, which majority of our very senior jury are already familiar with. A lot of them have judged One Show, and One Show is the pinnacle of creative awards. So, by now, even One Show has kind of perfected it, and they're helping us to perfect it. So we want to get to a global standard of judging and evaluation.
So what was the thought that went behind this partnership?
See, Abby is the most definitive Indian award, right? It has been there for over 50 years, and people proudly displayed, even very senior creative people proudly displayed their gold Abbeys and stuff like that on their desk, and the agencies very proudly display it in their boardrooms. What had happened over a period of time was that it had kind of gone through a lot of ups and downs, and thanks to that, we're many times we had to change processes. Many times we had to stop and think about stuff, saying, is this the right thing we're doing? Can we do it better? And when these questions were coming up, the most obvious question was, can we get to a standard which is a global standard and get Abby recognized by our global peers? So that is obviously the next question, because now anything from India is no longer, it's a very indigenous desi kind of avatar. That indigenous desi kind of thing doesn't work anymore. We are a global citizen, and everything that we do have to kind of adhere to the best of global standards. So with that question, we thought, is there a way we can accelerate the process? And obviously, to accelerate the process, the best is to tie up with the best in business.
Now tell us, what are your expectations from this association, especially in terms of benefits for the Abbeys?
So we want the credibility, the transparency, the process to become A++, So that's number one. Number two is, we also want to learn from the experience of our global peers on why, award as a category, award show as an, overall set of things are slightly, getting irrelevant. And people are trying to rediscover themselves to see that how award shows can be made a lot more relevant. So the second part was therefore for us to try and understand from our global peers what changes are happening and what we can adopt. So it's a fast forwarding of learning. And the third and the most important thing is, we want Abby to be recognized as the most definitive Indian award that there is, and not only judged by a process and a set of jury which is created in India, but a process and a set of jury which is created globally.
And finally, how do you expect advertisers and agencies to react to this?
Previously, advertisers didn't have too much of an idea of creative awards. They used to only worry about effectiveness award. Now, effectiveness has also become part of creative, and somehow people have started understanding creative award a little better. And when people understand creative award, so then people know about Cannes Lions and one show, right? So the moment this came out today, even advertisers are very happy that Indian awards are getting the kind of standard and getting the kind of stature that global awards have. And for the agencies, it's only it will be very comfortable for them, because they are used to these global award standards, and it's kind of very open, it's kind of very transparent and very efficient. So it will only be excellent for the people to adopt to this new thing. They're looking forward to do this. Not just that, from one show we are also learning in terms of jury composition and things like that what should be the diversity and inclusion index in jury, all those kind of things, which are also very important, because judging an award is not just an event in itself. It also reflects how the community is thinking. It also reflects how the people at large, society at large is thinking. It has to be a reflection of all of those.
Now, the Ad Club's partnership with the One Club can be seen as a way to boost the integrity and credibility of the Abbeys, which has been mired in controversy since 2001. Questions have been raised about its judging process, and issues such as rewarding scam entries haven't helped, leading to a boycott by agencies including Lowland Thus and Ogilvy India. Since then, several steps have been taken by the Ad Club to restore credibility, be it the institution of a super jury or audits carried out by third-party firms such as KPMG. Meanwhile, industry watchers have applauded how the Curious Creative Awards have continued to grow, both in terms of agency participation and brand recognition. Since the time it was launched in 2013, Curious has recognized the need for global validation for the Indian advertising industry and has had global creative leaders on its jury, as well as partnerships with international bodies such as DNAD and the One Club for Creativity. Over the last couple of years, despite the pandemic, the Curious Creative Awards have continued virtually, rewarding the very best of Indian advertising and marketing communications with its elephants. The credibility and integrity of the awards have never been questioned by the industry. In fact, winning an elephant has also been perceived as the work being capable of winning at the Cannes Lions Awards. Last year itself, projects that won elephants and lions include The Punishing Signal by FCB, Project Free Period by DDB Mudra Group, Stop the Beauty Test by Ogilvy India, The 8-Bit Journal, and the world's most reported trailer by Dentsu Web Chutney, as well as the Now Words Aren't Just Heard campaign by Chail India.
Curious is a special award for us. It's the only award show in India where all agencies do enter.
Brings in an international perspective because of the composition of the juries. We have some really, really wonderfully talented world names who are serving in different cultures. So that always helps. It's not that Indian work requires a validation, but I think it just makes the process of picking up the most deserving work that much richer.
We don't enter, every other award. In fact, the only Indian award that Wunderman Thompson has been entering over the last 5 to 6 years is the Curious Creative Awards. And we believe that's the national benchmark.
I think it's a great barometer to know what is the standard of your work in India. I think Curious has taken the position of being the foremost and the most prestigious Indian award show.
Of all the award shows, I would say that Curious is the one where we believe creatively most respected. Not just in India, I think globally also. It's got certain it's got a certain weight, it's got a certain respect.
You're able to set standards. You look back and look at your legacy of work and you say, okay, this is the kind of work that wins a black elephant, or this is the kind of work that wins a blue elephant.
The good part of winning at KCA is that even a baby elephant holds a lot of weight. for the entire fraternity.
It does hold great relevance for us and our partners as well, because it's a true testament and recognition of all the hard work that we've put in.
And winning an elephant at Curious is huge. It's clearly the most prestigious award in the country.
Like they say, a lion is a lion, an elephant is an elephant.
Well, all eyes are now not only on the Abbeys to see how this partnership helps the award, but also on Curious to reveal what's in store for Curious Creative Awards this year. With that, it's a wrap on this episode of Melt. You can follow us on social media. Our handle is Ready to Melt, and stay updated with all that's happening in the world of advertising and marketing with our daily Melt update on our website, readytomelt.com. I shall see you next week. Goodbye.